Don in London. Hello, just checking the date, 22nd of March 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, or substance and behaviour. So I've realised in life that one can be addicted to both. So my substance, alcohol, my behaviour, equally addictive, work, relationships, collecting, trying to fill an empty gap inside me, and never knowing that empty gap inside me was fulfilling with good things rather than trying to fix the way I felt or to try and catch some whisper or wisp of spiritual reality. So for me these days, I learn that sobriety comes packaged one day at a time or less, depending on what's going on, and that anything can be a trigger to set off old behaviour of trying to fix something, a situation, a place, a person, a thing. So I try not to fix anything, but just live and endeavour as life offers me, and to be open to the choices that are open to everybody based on what is real life. So what helps me keep sober one day at a time, and for a few days, well, quite a long time actually, in a lifetime, is family, friends, community. There's a lot of noise this morning in the background. Friends, family and community helped me find a place to find a moment of clarity, and that moment of clarity led to understanding I needed to let the world back in, stop isolating and be a part of life again. And to do that I needed to stop drinking and trying to fix myself. So what helped most was a fellowship, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And I don't speak for the fellowship and never can, never will. One of the principles is anonymity, but from my very early days I was not anonymous in any shape or form in my community or anywhere else particularly, because it was obvious what was wrong with me. And I guess for me, open, honest and willing are some of the principles. Anonymous didn't really seem to make much difference to me, except in one respect, and that was anonymity is sanctuary to find the truth of who we are. So whether we go to a doctor or a counsellor, or we go to a psychiatrist, or we go to fellowship, we are offered anonymity. That is what we share, who we see, what we hear, and we just do not share it outside fellowship. We don't talk about other people, but we can talk about where we were and what it means to us. So this is why I share experience, strength and hope of my recovery. And it would be a great big ego thing not to include AA, the fellowship, as part of my story of recovery, because it is in fact the backbone. I learn from others who are in recovery one day at a time. And if I can't get to a meeting, and I haven't been able to get to a meeting for over 2 weeks now, well, no, I haven't actually, without causing damage physically to my foot, which has got some displaced fractures in it. So I guess I could have put everything aside and put my physical condition aside as well in order to improve my spiritual and emotional condition. But I suspect there is a balance in there between isolation, which is not so helpful, and solitary endeavour, which is quite helpful. So I'm on the cusp, if you like. I would benefit from going to a meeting, without a doubt. So why go to AA? Well, there is a statement of intent which is shared, and it goes like this, and it's called the AA preamble, shared at every meeting. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and to help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And a friend of mine came for coffee yesterday and we had a little discussion about anonymity. And it is strange, because there are no rules in AA. There are absolutely no rules. There are principles and suggestions to live life. And in amongst that is anonymity. Now, I can break my anonymity, which is to break anonymity. It's not a rule. Anonymity is a suggestion, so that we don't get big-sized and think that we know it all. And one thing I've learned in recovery is I know nothing most of the time, and I need to learn it on a daily basis. So I can break my anonymity, but I don't break the rule, because there isn't one. And what I knew from the start, or pretty much when it was being founded as a fellowship, if it had any rules, any alcoholic worth their salt wouldn't go, because we don't respond to rules. We respond to experience, strength and hope, sharing, inclusion and being a part of, with principles of living and understandings around sanctuary to find the truth of now. So there are no rule breaking situations in AA, but I can break my anonymity, and it may sound like borderline something or other, but if you started, or we started, or I started to impose rules on people about how they get sober, they wouldn't, because we are powerless over people, places and things, which is step one. And that's enough of that. So I understand that anonymity is precious, and it's very precious, and it's a sanctuary. And without it, I don't know that I would have got sober. But if you made it a rule, how many people would actually respond to rules when they're driven mad by drink? And the answer is self-will, run riot, self-obsession, ego, fear, putting on a brave face. All those characteristics which come out when we're stuck and need fixing wouldn't have helped. So for me, I share literature here from the Daily Reflections, which is all about the 12 steps, this book. And I think I covered this the other day. It talks about no more struggle for March 22nd. And we ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol. When AA found me, I thought I was in for a struggle, and that AA might provide the strength I needed to beat alcohol. Victorious in that fight, who knows what other battles I could win. I would need to be strong, though. All my previous experience with life proved that. Today I do not have to struggle or exert my will. I don't have to exert my will. If I take those 12 steps and let my higher power do the real work, and for me my higher power is truth, wisdom, works through people, and is love. To let my higher power do the real work, my alcohol problem disappears all by itself. My living problems also cease to be struggles. I just have to ask whether acceptance or change is required. It is not my will, but his, that needs doing. And the gift in there for me, it talks about his will, or God's will. And for me, it took me a long time to understand what God may be in my life. And I came from a background where God was not exactly the best way forward. So when I came to my own understanding of what God could be in my life, it fits in with a lot of what other people say. God is truth, God is love, and God works through people. So it's very realistic, and it doesn't require a great big leap into the dark, which is what I thought it would mean, that I had to give up everything. Indeed I did. I stopped trying to be willful, self-obsessed and riotous, and found that I didn't need to fix anything anymore, or struggle, or battle, just live life. So for me, what helps me when life is difficult, or not quite as understandable as I would wish, I use the serenity prayer, or share it with myself in my head, or express it out loud. And it's to serenity and God, and it goes like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference for me is just for today, without any rules.